The following program is a UNC Charlotte production.
Welcome inside UNC Charlotte. First up, the university was recently awarded the 2013 Belk Innovation and Diversity Award. We'll learn more about the university's plan that details objectives for diversity, access, and inclusion in all aspects of the UNC Charlotte community. With more than 32,000 likes, UNC Charlotte's presence on Facebook is one of the largest in Charlotte. We'll learn about the evolution of social media at the university and what it means to be connected in the 21st century. We'll also learn about the Giving Green spirit at UNC Charlotte and how this year-round fundraising campaign reflects our ongoing volunteerism and philanthropy. Plus, we'll hear from senior point guard Nye Hammonds. All this and more inside UNC Charlotte. UNC Charlotte was recently awarded the 2013 Belk Innovation and Diversity Award in the nonprofit category. Belk Inc. and the Charlotte Chamber advocate for the economic and civic value of an inclusive business community. The award is given to Charlotte Chamber member businesses and organizations that demonstrate innovation in diversity and inclusion in the workplace, the economy, and beyond. Under the leadership of Chancellor Phil Dubois, UNC Charlotte adopted its campus plan for diversity, access, and inclusion in 2008. The plan details objectives that affect all aspects of the university community.
One example is the fact that we have really focused on recruiting and graduating a higher percentage of students of color, underrepresented groups. Clearly, a big focus of ours is first-generation college participants. And so we have seen an increase in those numbers.
One of the reasons I decided to attend UNC Charlotte was because even in the 90s, it was one of the most diverse campuses out of a predominantly white institution. To see how much progress has been made since then, I feel that the diversity, the multiculturalism, the inclusion has been there, and it just keeps getting better over time.
The Chancellor created the Chancellor's Diversity Challenge Grant, and those can be grants up to $5,000 or actually mini grants of up to $1,000. Faculty, staff, and students can apply for these grants. One example of a use of a challenge grant is something that was given to evaluate the effectiveness of a program that we have here called SHARP, Charlotte Action Research Project. And this is an example of how we engage the community at large, especially those underserved communities. And so the SHARP project is really working with other nonprofits as well as with neighborhood groups that are underserved groups that mostly are in this area to help connect them better to the community at large. And so one of the challenge grants was used to be able to measure the effectiveness of that. So there are, but there can be small projects that students get funding for as well. So that's another great example of where, in many ways, we're putting our money where our mouth is by making these dollars available for someone to be able to implement something that really does help address the inclusiveness of our student body, of our faculty, and of our staff, as well as of the community that we serve.
I think it's important for our business community to see our lead public university being a champion for diversity and inclusion, because our futures and talent are going to depend on having diverse talent in our workforce, and who better than UNC Charlotte to help drive that.
One of the other success stories that we have as part of our diversity plan is the work that we have done with historically underutilized businesses, or hubs.
I'm happy to say that hub participation on the UNC Charlotte campus is on the rise. It's important for the university because this is a diverse campus, and as a public entity, we use primarily the taxpayers' dollars, in addition to student fees for the residence halls and the parking decks. So When we are able to report that we've had diversity in the construction process, that's a good thing because we are showing inclusion. When you look at the state mandated goal of 10% and the fact that we average about 25% hub participation, that's overwhelming, and we're very pleased with that.
I'm delighted to be here to announce the 2013 Belk Innovation and Diversity Award winners on behalf of Belk Inc. and the Chamber. The Belk Innovation and Diversity Award continues to be an important acknowledgement of excellence in diversity in Charlotte. For Belk, this award reflects our commitment to diversity in our company and in our communities. UNC Charlotte is the 2013 Belk Innovation and Diversity Award winner in the nonprofit category.
We appreciate the recognition by the Charlotte Chamber for the Belk Innovation and Diversity Award. Diversity and inclusion are core values at a university, as they are in most successful organizations. We've worked hard to incorporate those values into all that we do in delivering our education and public service missions. So in all that we do, we try to advance those core values throughout the university and the community that we serve. We especially appreciate Belk for having sponsored this Innovation in Diversity Award. The Belk College of Business is, of course, very critical to our work and bears the Belk Company name.
The leadership of Chancellor Phil Dubois has been a big reason why the university continues to attract students of all backgrounds. They're making strides in retaining students of diverse backgrounds, and I expect that to continue into the future. I'm just proud to be an alumnus, and I'm happy for my alma mater.
Perhaps the greatest moment for me was when I visited the place the first time and decided to come here. It was in the spring of '77. I remember it really very, very well. I was actually an assistant professor at the University of Connecticut. I liked it. The winters were tough and the university was old and well established, and I came here and I just saw future. It had so much potential. And that moment, the best decision I ever made was to come here. I came here as a research psychologist and as a faculty member. And I always had a passion particularly for teaching and research, but teaching was my real love. And that was embraced here in Charlotte. I remember the first time I met Bonnie Cohn and some of the very early people at this campus. That mattered a great deal to them. The teaching was my passion, and they allowed me to expand that and pursue it. And every time I'd raise a question about, well, what about this? And they'd say, oh, if you're interested, you can be on a committee to change it. And it was all about changing things and moving forward. And we can do this, and we only have this now, but we're going to have that. And over here, we're going to build this. And it's all happened. My students, it's countless, tens of thousands of students I've had in my classes over these years, over the 35 years. I've never not taught, not a single semester. I wouldn't even think of not teaching. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. This university has rewarded me in a multitude of ways, and I feel as though all I do is continue to do good things for the university, and good things happen to me. So yeah, our whole family is a UNC Charlotte family. We are deeply committed to this institution. It's part of our life.
At the time of this report, UNC Charlotte's presence on Facebook has more than 32,000 likes. Let's take a look at the evolution of social media at the university and what it means to be connected in the 21st century.
At a basic level, social media platforms are a great way to connect with other people.
Facebook, which has been huge for us. We're at 32,000 fans now, and we've grown exponentially in 3 years.
Welcome to Urban Eden, where you can enjoy garden living in a thriving city. I decided to find out what Twitter was about because I was a little bit intrigued. I use it mainly because I'm very passionate, and in my work I do a lot of outreach for science. It's not just for Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber.
This being the first inaugural season, I think that the usage of social media created a lot more school spirit.
We realized back in 2008 that we needed to start becoming part of the social media train and hop on that and get involved because it was hot. People were starting to use it. Students were engaging with it a ton. We realized we needed to take part in that as well. The media wasn't the media anymore. Like, we don't need to just respond to the media. We need to become part of the media and be the media here at the university. Whenever football started in August, we obviously shared a lot of football content, and our numbers skyrocketed in August. We had 88 posts in August in general, 1,277 comments, 21,000 likes, and over 2,200 shares, which are just amazing numbers. And it shared football with everyone. It touched the community on our Facebook, and then it went out much further and got to say to people, hey, UNC Charlotte has a football team now. People were really excited. So we loved that. We were able to share a lot of pictures from the game, a lot of video, and just see how much people love Niner Nation and how engaged they are with staking their claim here at UNC Charlotte. I think one of the greatest challenges is the amount of information out there. For example, on Twitter, if you look at the UNCC hashtag, every day there's hundreds to thousands of people using the UNCC hashtag and trying to sort through all that and find the good content and find the things that we need to respond to where people might have a question or we can engage with them.
Media is all about communicating. It's all about saying something clearly so that people can understand it. Social implies a social connection. And if you think about people who are good at communicating, they're good with words. People who are good at being social are good about making connections and interacting with people. It's all about building community. It's about building professional community. It's about building local community because, once again, you're accessible. If you have a faculty member like Greg DeBurr in physics, who has a blog called Skulls in the Stars, which is called that because he's an optical scientist. He's interested in blogging about optics, but he also has an interest in horror fiction. And that's engagement. That's, getting the community to see, hey, we've got this physics professor who's also editing books on horror fiction, at the university. Who would have known, except for it's right out there on the web, and somebody saw a link on Twitter. Our chair of political science, Greg Weeks, has a blog called 2 Weeks Notice. The Washington Post pretty regularly calls him.
Well, I think a lot of times what happens on both blogs and Twitter is that the things that get the most play are the ones where you are dealing with a very hot current events topic right exactly as it's happening. I'll get asked by reporters to talk about Venezuelan elections because Venezuelan elections are happening right at that moment. I write about them, I tweet about them. They're interested in hearing more, and so they look at that moment who is really touching on this. Same thing with immigration. I do a lot of research on immigration. So those are the ones that, for me, get the most attention.
It's a really good tool for the public to hear what we're doing at UNC Charlotte, but also for the faculty to be able to translate it into terms that people can understand and think, oh, okay, that's cool, they're doing that at UNC Charlotte. First of all, I really enjoy using it, which helps, because once you do get a following and you feel like people expect you to say interesting things. I tweeted about what my research and interests were in astronomy and astrophysics, things that are happening in the sky, meteor showers, launches, anything to do with astronomy and space, primarily for science outreach.
Getting into college is probably one of the most useful tools I had. I think kind of Twitter was sort of the Robin to the Batman of Facebook, because the place that I kind of went to have fun with social media. So I'm significantly guilty of ego tweeting, or essentially tweeting things to make myself look great.
I think the UNCC Twitter page and the Facebook page, they really try to engage students and try to ask a lot of questions, post a lot of updates, and I think it's really beneficial. Definitely builds a community and strengthens the university community.
If you're an alumni, or if you're someone who's not actively on campus all the time, then the Facebook page is a perfect way for you to stay connected to the football event and to Botany Cone's, the Cone Center's 50th anniversary, or the International Festival, or whatever the case may be. It's a perfect place to go to because it sort of aggregates all of the different little activities and events that are happening on campus that we see and experience firsthand every day in such a way that anyone can come in, whether you've been away from the university for 20 years or for 5, and see in a nutshell what's going on.
I remember really my sophomore year on the track team, and I had an injury. I wasn't sure what happened. You know, I was a high jumper, and the doctors told me it was tendonitis. So I had the option then to have surgery or just continue to proceed through my career here in pain, basically. And so it was a big decision for me because I kind of wondered, why did it happen? So I had the surgery, and rehab was crucial. I thought I'd never jump again, but actually in going through that, I was able to jump higher than I ever had. And kind of looking back on it, it reminds me of life in general, up to this point, where things look really difficult and you don't really understand why they're happening, but that's an obstacle. But on the other side of the obstacle could be something very beautiful. The reason I chose UNC Charlotte was because it was a student athlete. I think every time we went to the tutoring hall, you see the student athlete first. You know, the body doesn't last forever, and so student athlete was always something that was put forth here at UNC Charlotte. So when I refer to UNC Charlotte as a network of support, it's a network of support. We're 49ers, it's a gold mine, you know. I wasn't sure what a 49er was till I came here and started searching for these opportunities. And I only was able to find opportunity through the people I met, which I call the network of support. I feel that as a counselor, as an advisor now in the Communication Studies Department, that it is about introducing people to opportunity. It's a world of opportunity here, and the college is growing so huge, but many times engaging with that student who's coming in and they're not sure what major to be, I'll say, well, what do you want? It's a menu here. I'm sure that everything here spread out before you will make you full, but will it make you happy? That's a decision that you have to decide. So what I can tell you is that it will feed you for the rest of your life in a metaphor sense, but this is an opportunity to be here. Now, what do you want to do as a 49er?
The Giving Green campaign is a campus-wide initiative in which the university community gives back to the greater Charlotte community. The Giving Green spirit is a year-round effort reflected in the university's ongoing volunteerism and philanthropy.
The Giving Green campaign gives UNC Charlotte a wonderful opportunity to support our community agencies and organizations, certainly across the area, but across campus as well. It gives us a chance to give back to our community as well as to give back to the programs and departments and units here on campus. The 2013 kickoff was actually a great success. We saw growth in numbers, and we saw growth in donors as well as growth in dollars for kickoff.
To see this fair, to see the employees gathering so that they can give, and it just shows the commitment that you have to the Charlotte community here at UNC Charlotte. And it just really gives me joy because I know it's going back to over 100 agencies in the community.
I think word is getting out that the kickoff is a fun opportunity to come together. Again, we do offer free luncheon and the agency fair, and also the opportunity to actually give while you're at kickoff. Also, we provide an opportunity to give through community service time during our Giving Green Volunteer Week. This gives faculty and staff members the opportunity to volunteer at a number of organizations across our area, and it also provides a wonderful opportunity for faculty and staff who aren't in a position to give financially, but they can give of their time.
UNC Charlotte has been a loyal, committed volunteer partner for many years and has sent teams and droves of teams out here to stock and sort and to load and to check teachers in and check them out, and we could not operate without that partnership.
Well, volunteers are critical. I mean, I don't want to say that lightly. They're literally essential to our livelihood and what we do is a success for our mission. We have over 2 miles worth of trails, both on the public side and the medical side, They're maintained by volunteers, everything from raking them because we don't want to use a backpack blower, it'll scare the birds, and so they literally hand rake the trails. The gravel that has to be replaced on a regular basis, and then we've had some tree work done, and they're moving logs and helping out. All of the maintenance work that we're done is done by volunteers, and we're extremely grateful from the group today.
Last year we did over 100,000 volunteer hours, which is the equivalent of 48 full-time staff people. Saves us $2.3 million in labor costs. Volunteers are huge for us. We only have about 24 full-time staff people at Second Harvest Food Bank, so volunteers literally double us.
We touched 9,000 educators in our store and over 135,000 students because of volunteers. We only have 8 full-time staff members here, a couple of part-time staff members. There is no way in the world we could do that on our own.
It's very exciting to have UNC Charlotte employees come in and help volunteer in order to help us continue to feed those in need. Hunger is going to be a problem all the time. So it makes me proud to be a UNC Charlotte 49er, and I'm glad to see them out in the community.
And we look forward to growing that partnership over the years. We look for more and more volunteers to get involved from UNC Charlotte, and it speaks to the greater issue of education in our community, that there is a commitment from K through 12 and beyond.
Giving Green is much more than just the 4-week fall campaign. Giving Green should be a way of life for all UNC Charlotte faculty and staff members, and also our students and our alumni alike. We want folks to understand that the Giving Green spirit should live beyond the campaign time frame and should go over the course of the whole year. We want to make sure we're out in the community supporting the arts, the science, the culture, and doing so proudly with a Giving Green spirit.
Thank you, UNC Charlotte, for your support.
Thank you, Niners, for putting the uni in university.
Thank you for donating.
Thank you for Giving Green.
I just had always wanted to be in the caring community, and back then my family was in the war and my father had died, and so I found that the best way to get back into doing something was to go in nursing, that I wanted to do always, so that's what I did. It was fun. Really, I have enjoyed every moment of my career. But the fun part was there were just two faculty, Edith Brocker and myself, and then we had one other faculty member to come on. And everybody in the university talked about every time they went to a committee meeting, there sat Edith or Eleanor. So it was a big joke of wherever they had a committee, one of us would be there, because we didn't have any faculty to put in different committees. Well, a lot of the times we didn't have money to get equipment, and so I would go out looking for equipment. Big, borrow, or steal, either way. But we did some real interesting things. So, I mean, the whole beginning was, you know, make and develop and do what we could. Well, it's like most people say, and it's not just a cliche, but when you have been part of the birthing process, so to speak, it just becomes a part of you, and the university had given you the opportunity to carry out your desires and interest and compassion for nursing particularly, that you feel that in any way that you can help the progress and continuation of that field is payback time.
As Charlotte women's basketball begins its Conference USA schedule, we focus now on senior point guard Nye Hammonds.
Started playing when I was 10 years old, the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, actually, that was my last option because I was a cheerleader at first, and then I wanted to play football, so my parents wouldn't let me play football, so basketball was my last choice. I have to say, around like 12, I started playing AAU, so it began to get fun, and I began to get good at it, so around 12. Home-cooked meals. I go home Sundays most of the time because my grandparents cook or my mom cook on Sundays and the family come over. Favorite meal definitely is homemade macaroni and cheese, fried chicken. I love collard greens and candy yams, all that good stuff. Point guard, I mean, you have to be vocal, so it's not only that you have to lead by example, you have to be encouraging, you have to be the first to do things. Just about how it's pretty much the most important position on the team and how a lot of the players look up to the point guard, and so how it's just an important role.
Thanks for joining us once again. You can see more online at inside.uncc.edu, and all of our segments are on YouTube. In the meantime, we look forward to seeing you next time right here inside UNC Charlotte.